Hi, I'm Tim Jones, and I'm the head of creative for Rebellion, and I'm here to talk about Strange Brigade today.
So, really quick, could you just give us an overview about what Strange Brigade is all about?
So, Strange Brigade it's sort of set in the 1930s. It's taking the vibe and the atmosphere of the old matinee cinema serials of the time period and old Boys' Own Adventure serials as well, that were kind of the pulp fiction entertainment of their time, kind of the equivalent of computer games. And it's very tongue-in-cheek, it's old-fashioned action adventure, and you play as part of the Strange Brigade, who are a group of secret agents who are defending the Earth against the agents of the supernatural. And in this particular case, you are heading over to Egypt and the surrounding area to deal with all the undead mummies that have been resurrected after someone has inadvertently uncovered an ancient pharaoh witch queen's tomb.
So it seems like you have the campaign mode that you can do solo, but there seems to be a strong emphasis on 4-player co-op in this game.
Sure. I mean, it's really important to us that the game is equally entertaining in single player as well as multiplayer, because we found that with so many of our games, we strongly support cooperative play alongside the single player, whether it's Sniper Elite or Battlezone or Zombie Army Trilogy, and we wanted to do the same for Strange Brigade. We really like the camaraderie and the kind of playing together you can get in cooperative games, which you just can't get in any other way. But and we've got a really strong cast of varied characters, which hopefully people will enjoy choosing from, whether they're playing on their own, and then choosing to replay as the different characters to see how it's different, or whether they're just playing together with friends.
So where did the idea come from to kind of do this like serialized throwback sort of motif for the game?
So the idea originally came from Jason Kingsley, the CEO of Rebellion, and his passion and love for those kind of that pulp fiction of the time, the Boys' Own Adventure novels and some of the crazy pictures they'd have on the covers, and it was all kind of a more innocent form of entertainment, if you like, where you had really overt cliffhangers, either at the end of a serial in the story or at the cinema, and you'd come back the next week and see how the hero had leapt free from the burning car, and everything turns out all right in the end, but it's sort of, that was the original inspiration, and we just kind of wanted to update it to something that made sense for us as gamers.
So it kind of all just snowballed from there, essentially.
Yeah. Exactly that, yeah. We wanted to set something in the exotic realms of, or what was considered exotic in the period of Egypt and around there, and there's something always fascinating about tombs and ancient ruins and all the secrets you might unearth there, and that was a big part of the game we wanted to get in as well, and alongside the action and the combat, but the real sense of adventuring, finding stuff, collectibles, looting for treasure and relics, and collecting things.
Nice. Yeah, that definitely seemed to be an emphasis during my short time. There seems to be a lot of branching paths and optional exploration and stuff like that. So are you banking on people going back and re-exploring things and trying new routes to get to the finish line, so to speak?
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. We wanted to make sure that players would really be rewarded by exploring every nook and cranny of the landscapes and the levels and the environments we've created. So yeah, there are loads of different passages. We've got puzzles throughout as well, some of which you have to solve in order to get through the primary path for the game, but there's a bunch of side puzzles as well, opening up secret areas and new relics and collectibles as well. So there's loads for people to explore, and they will want to be hopefully coming back and playing it again and again.
One thing I found interesting is the game's the combat doesn't seem extremely fast-paced, but it's very intense. There seems to the weapons have that nostalgic feel to them.
Yeah, I mean the weapons themselves, they're taking inspiration from the weapons that were available around that time period. We're not being obsessive about historical accuracy here, but most of them have all been souped up and specially designed for the Strange Brigade as well. So in addition to the more sort of standard weapons like machine guns, shotguns, pistols and the like, we've also got a bunch of special weapons as well, which are more unique and have got more crazy abilities, things like, freezing bullets and scarab launching grenade launchers and flamethrowers and that kind of thing. But we're mixing that up with the melee attacks that the characters have got, and also one key differentiating factor for the game is that every enemy you kill will release a soul into the environment, like a glowing blue soul, and you can collect those, you can suck them into the amulet that all the characters carry. And when you fill your amulet up with all those souls, then you can unleash a special magical power move. And each of the characters has got their own specific moves that they can do, and you can unlock more of those as you collect relic collections throughout the levels, which unlock more special powers. So, for instance, Archimedes de Quincy, he's one of his favourite magical powers is the ability to turn the enemies into chickens, which is gives you a sense of the seriousness of the game and the kind of crazy things we got going on.
Now, we tried out a few different game play modes. The survival mode is definitely something that intrigued me. I kind of got caught up in it.
In addition to the campaign, we've got score attack modes, which we unlock as you complete the levels in the game, so you can go back and play specially crafted parts of the level for where you're chasing combos and scores in a very traditionally arcadey sort of way, and those are quite short, fast-paced, score-chasing, leaderboard-focused bits of action. And then the Horde mode itself, which you refer to, that's a big part of the game as well, and something that we found has been really popular with people. We kind of structure it differently, where you're in a fairly large area against oncoming waves of enemies, and you start with very little in the way of weaponry. You collect gold as you fight through, and then you can spend that between waves on increasing the weaponry you're working with, and you can also use that to unlock new areas in the environment as you progress, and access new secrets and pickups and health potions and ways to upgrade your weapons as well. And that's quite a lengthy mode in itself, but if you manage to finally complete all 15 waves of it, then it cycles around and gets harder and harder and harder. But if you want to just start on a harder level, if you've got there, then you can, once you've got to that point, you've got the ability to jump in at that wave should you so wish as well. So it's something for the hardcore out there. Will keep them occupied for a long time, and it's certainly a lot of fun in multiplayer too.
Now, just going back to the serial influences, a lot of those films that were influenced by those serials also kind of came through here. I was getting a little bit of a Goonies vibe, a little Indiana Jones here and there. Definitely heard a reference from the narrator to the Indiana Jones series as well.
That's possible. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Indiana Jones itself is taking, its roots are in the same entertainment that we're harking back to with this. And so it's natural that we're ending up in a similar place in some areas. And there are all sorts of fun Easter eggs throughout the game for people to dig into. You'll find all kinds of references, which a couple you may have spotted yourself quite accurately.
Was it the character designs are very interesting and very unique, and definitely have that old school feel to them. Was it hard to kind of stay away from making a guy with a leather hat and a whip and stuff like that?
Well, it was tempting, but the fact is it's kind of been done, and we had a huge roster of characters. We had loads of fun, concepting up loads of different characters from around the world and people that fitted into the era, and it took us quite a lot of honing down to find the 4 that we put into the main game itself, but we're also adding some extra playable characters with their own backstories as well, and own special powers and things to as we progress into downloadable content as well. And we've actually got a novel coming out at the same time as the game, which has short stories based on the backstory to each of the characters as well. So while the game is quite sort of, light-hearted and not too serious, we have gone into quite obsessive detail about the world and all the characters and making sure that it all stacks up on its own terms.
So you've literally done a ton of world building.
Oh yeah. I mean, and what's more fun than building this kind of world, right? So there are lots of very different environments. I mean, naturally you will be encountering a lot of ancient ruins and tombs and the like, but some are like in sun-bleached deserts, some are like deep underground in like strangely overgrown kind of dank, spooky areas. We've got deserted towns, we've got sandstorms, and we've got some pretty crazy, like gigantic boss characters as well that I don't want to spoil for you, but there's some fun sequences for people to enjoy. Strange Brigade is coming out on the 28th of August on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC, and enhanced for Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro.